Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Cordover. I'm the CEO and founder of Kids Unlimited, a global leader in enrichment, education and thinking. Much has been said about the challenges that education systems face globally in preparing students for an uncertain and rapidly changing future. Jobs that don't yet exist, the gig economy, multiple and varied careers, technological advancements and environmental challenges. Mostly, we operate within an education system designed to prepare students for an industrial economy. But the industrial age is long gone, and we're now in the knowledge economy and a digital information age. So in some ways, we need to rethink the entire system. So where do we start? And fundamentally, there are three areas of teaching and learning. There's knowledge, skills, and attitude. Knowledge is what do the students know? What do they know? Skills is what can they do? And importantly, attitude is how do they think? The education system grew up as a knowledge transfer system and is generally very capable in that regard. However, the modern information age, the importance of knowledge transfer is shrinking, and schools have moved towards developing skills that we often call 21st century skills. The most commonly talked about 21st century skills are the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, cooperation, and creativity. These skills are chosen because they're the most likely to remain relevant in a future where change is the only constant. So it's clear that those who are the most adaptable, those who are willing and able to learn new things, will be the ones who succeed. The one thing that we can be absolutely sure will remain constant and relevant over the next generation is the ability to learn. This capability to learn and adapt is what differentiates humans from other animals, and what is now keeping us just marginally ahead of artificial intelligence. I think we need to rephrase our objectives as educators and define the main outcome of education as simply to produce lifelong learners. Being a lifelong learner is more than simply 21st century skills. And I would argue that educators around the world are trending towards the deliberate influencing of students' attitudes as well as the teaching of skills and knowledge. Having 21st century skills without the attitude of a lifelong learner will probably take you nowhere. Over 25 years in education, we've developed a model that supports children in developing both skills and attitudes that will remain relevant in a globalized, fast-moving and uncertain future. We call this model the T-shaped learner. So what is a T-shaped learner? Well, the letter capital T represents a breadth of experience and the depth of expertise. So the breadth of experience, the top of the T, is breadth of experience across a wide range of disciplines, and it provides diverse experiences to students so they can draw from, supporting them with their creativity, problem solving and innovation. The deep learning, the stem of the T, and the expertise builds resilience and perseverance and teaches students how to learn. In practice, in addition to the core curriculum, we recommend that students in primary schools can complete at least 10 different enrichment activities through their primary school career. We're talking 6 months, 12 to 20 hours per activity. These enrichment activities should be from as many different domains as possible. So sports, music, technology, entrepreneurship, drama, chess, science. Parents and teachers shouldn't worry if a child is bored with an activity and wants to try something new. It's normal and it's actually beneficial. At some point, the child will develop a passion for one of those specific programs, or at least gravitate towards something, perhaps showing aptitude in that area. It's important so that the learning becomes self-motivated and self-directed. Giving a child a voice in their own education helps to provide them with the opportunity to experience the desire to learn. It's the fact that they want to learn, not that they have to learn. Once the child enters into this motivated deep learning phase, we're recommending at least 4 years, 150 hours of deep learning. Learning has a very strong diminishing return. That means that the same amount of effort produces more results in the early stages of learning, but gradually less and less as time goes on. Sport is a good example of this. A novice runner can train for just a couple of hours and quickly improve their performance by 20% or more. But to improve the next 10% is much harder. And of course, a professional athlete might spend 40 hours every week for many years to improve their time by just a fraction of a second. So in the intellectual arena, this is the difference between theoretical understanding and transactional capabilities. And these two don't match in straight lines. There are many times when the transactional capability falls behind the theoretical understanding. In fact, both of these areas don't take a straight line progress, they're working in steps. And children need some support through the times which get them across the hurdle when they feel like they're plateauing. So it travels in a flat line and then they make a big jump. So the students need some support through those times where they might experience a quit moment and then build some resilience. So we want all children to experience the joy of learning at a very shallow experiential level, but also the challenges that come with deep learning. And to get them through the challenges, the attitude is the key. So the first attitude we need to instill is a growth mindset. And we've heard of this idea, but I like the concept that there's 4 stages in learning. The first one is unconscious incompetence. It's you don't know what you don't know. The growth mindset is when you believe that there's always something more to learn. And that will take you through to the second stage, which is a conscious incompetence. You know that there's something more to learn, right? Taking that step is what the growth mindset is all about. Much of the traditional education system subconsciously points to endpoints rather than an infinite upward spiral. You study maths with an exam in mind. The exam is the end point. And from that point, you feel like you don't need to study maths anymore. These arbitrary endpoints tend to create the opposite attitude from what we're trying to cultivate. It's another reason to balance the core curriculum with enrichment. The third stage is the conscious competence. So you know what you don't know and you start to learn some more things. And this is the struggle of deep learning. You know what you're meant to do, you know the theory, but you can't quite execute. You have to consciously think about what you're doing. The final stage is the unconscious competence. This is when you can perform a task without even thinking. You just know the answer, or you can do something instinctively. Maybe you can drive a car, you can hit a tennis ball, you can do some times tables. The danger point here is that you think that you've just mastered something, that you know something. But actually, the unconscious competence at this final stage is the same as the unconscious incompetence. You're also right back at the start. Many enrichment activities such as karate or chess have this built into their very system where you never finish, you're only taking the next step in an endless journey of learning. And that's where the attitude comes from. We generally judge children on their results. So did they get a good grade or a poor grade? These grades are mostly a result of the actions or the behaviours of the child. If they studied hard, then they'll get good results within their capabilities. If they're lazy, then you get poor results. But the behaviour that's exhibited is only an external expression of their values and beliefs. If they don't believe that maths is useful, then they might value studying for their maths test a little bit less. So they study less effectively and get poor results. If we really want to cure the results, we have to focus on the behaviours and work at the values level. Okay, values are not taught, but they're absorbed. And the opportunity with enrichment programs is for subject matter experts to really share the values that they hold. As subject matter experts, they're able to show real life examples of lifelong learning and inspire other children into lifelong learning. In closing, I think we're seeing now that universities are taking more priority onto lifelong learning and extracurricular activities because they see the value of the broad experiences, the community engagement, and the motivation and initiative that comes when enrichment is part of a school curriculum. Thank you very much.